Hi, welcome to another Summer Vocal DBA Tutor. Today I'm going to go over the Flashback technology for Oracle. So again, the title is just Oracle version 12 C Flashback operation fundamentals. I'm going to cover what, when, and how to use Oracle Flashback operations. Um, this is the overview. First, I'm going to cover what is Flashback, and then I'm going to get into basically configuring the undo settings, and pretty much how what does configuring and understanding have to do with the flashback technology. Then I'm going to cover how to enable flashback, and I'm going to basically go into the different steps to set up flashback on your database. And then I'm going to cover some flashback real life scenarios. I'm gonna have some I'm gonna create some errors, and then I'm gonna resolve them with different flashback operations. And then I'm gonna cover then I'm gonna review the different flashback types, the components and the commands. This is gonna be more of a summary of everything that I would have done by this bullet point. And lastly, I'm going to just outline a number of privileges that you need that are necessary to be able to use flashback operations, and also things that are notable in terms of the flashback technology inside of Oracle. So what is flashback? So basically, flashback is an Oracle utility. So basically, it's used again. It's used for if it's used to capture to basically just V1 and playback database object. So basically, you're able to have point in time recoveries for your object going to particular setting that you've pre-configured to be able to retrieve your past data. So in terms of what type of objects what type of operation you can perform, basically you can have a database, you can have a table, you can have a row, or you can have a set of row flashbacks. All of these can be performed, and basically, and all of these have can only be performed because of different circumstances. And then also what flashback commands are used for is just to play back what we want to a particular redo log file, to a redo record again. So you can have a restore point, you can have a point in time, which is a timestamp, or you can have a system change number, which is your SEN. So basically, you are able to use a flashback to basically rewind to these different restore points. Not restore point, but restore methods. So in terms of flashback in comparison to RMAN, flashback has actually been recorded as being faster than your typical RMAN restore and recover operation. And basically, and another neat thing is that with RMAN, with flashback, basically you can have your database online as you're performing a recovery. But with RMAN, basically there has to be some downtime. So that's another benefit of using flashback technology. And also with flashback, it can be used to display. Basically, you can view your past data. You can roll back committed data, or you can actually again let's say you view the data, you clear your past data, and basically you want to reapply. Then you're also able to do it because you have you can use the flashback technology to get access to your past data. In terms of transactions, so basically, again, so flashback technology is actually based on so if basically what happens is that, okay, so the transactions that you're committing to inside the database are being captured, and that's how you're able to have flashback. That's how flashback is. That's how you're able to use flashback to restore your database. So transaction basically are just committed database operations. So if you think of a DDL, or if you think of a DML with a commit at the end, those are basically transactions that are gonna be basically part of they're gonna be part of your flashback stored data. Again, so just be mindful that not every statement is gonna be just part of recorded as a transaction. You have to make sure that you do commit that information, that the undo or the the flashback laws, flashback is able to basically access that, or sort of use that to later on have you restore that information using the flashback operations. And in terms of the stored data itself that you use for your flashback operation, so you have undo and you have redo data. These two must be available depending on which flashback operation that you're using. So with and it's not always going to be just the undo and redo. You can either have the undo is for some flashback operation. You're going to have the redo for other flashback operation. I'm going to cover which flashback operation you use with which data type, which store data type. Yes. And then and also you have flashback logs. So flashback logs are basically what you are actually using when you're performing a flashback database. So basically, typically when you think of an Oracle database, you have redo logs. You also have on the table space you have the segments. But basically flashback logs are actually created when you turn flashback on your database. And basically, so that's going to be another stream that's going to be running as concurrently with your redo log stream. So you have those two streams to be able to basically restore your database to a certain point in time. And also in terms of flashback, the database has to be in archive log mode. So that's the first thing that you should do to be able to use the flashback operations. And also again, so using flashback is a basically you have availability for your database. There's no downtime, of course. As opposed to, let's say, if you were to use RMAN, you have to shut down database and be able to recover a dropped object. So again, that's just a strong notable positive for using flashback operations. And in terms of configuring, in terms of getting your flashback environment set up, so basically, if you have so for your transaction data, you have to rely on undo data. So basically, what undo is basically it's again, so typically you have, if you query your table space, you're gonna find that you have an undo table space, and you might be wondering, okay, what are you using undo table space for? Well, basically, this is where your transactional data is being stored. So, and that information inside the undo table space is called undo data. So you need to have that. You need to have the specific undo data for you to be able to perform the flashback operation. So basically, again, so that's why it's very important to always committing transactions. If basically those are the modifications that you want to make. And again, so another way that you can basically just not have to monitor your undo every time is you can actually just enable automatic undo management. Basically that means that Oracle software is going to be responsible for managing the undo size, for the undo size and the storing of your undo data. And then also you have some parameters. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm actually going to open up my SQL Plus. So I'm gonna gonna quit, and then I'm going to basically, so I'm gonna be using Oracle 12c. So my database is v12c1h1. I'm gonna log into SQL Plus. Set Oracle SID v12ch1 v1h1. There you go. So basically what I'll do now is I'm actually going to query to see my parameters. So again, I'm going to be looking for these parameters. I'm looking for the temp, undo, enable, the undo management, undo intention, undo table space. So let me do this. So show parameter undo. So basically, if you look at these parameters, what I have here is, okay, my undo table space is my undo table space name. Undo retention. That's basically I should have, okay, yeah, I have a definition for it here at the bottom. So that's just a, let me just get it out of the way for now. It's just for how long you're going to be storing your undo data. And basically, and also you have undo management. I have my database enabled for automatic undo. Again, that's the default for Oracle. And then also these are basically the default values for you after the, for your Oracle your installed Oracle databases. So basically, so again, inquiring undo, I'm able to view these parameters and their values. So in terms of, again, just undo management, again, it's initializing some parameters. So what you can do is, if you're not satisfied with your undo management and you want to if you want to turn it to manual, then what you would do is you would alter system set undo underscore management is equal to, let's say if you want to do manual, then you probably say manual. And if you want to do, again, if you're satisfied with auto, you just leave it as it is. And so basically you can change your undo management. You can also, again, in terms of table space, if you feel strongly that you want to rename your table space, then you can definitely rename your table space. So basically, in terms of the table space itself, basically what the table space stores is, inside the table space you have segments. So every time you have a transaction that's written, that's committed inside the database, basically you would expect it to be inside of the redo log, or the dirt files, so that it can be queried. Basically, when you commit a transaction, what happens is that transaction is actually cut off. If you have basically your undo configuration set up, then basically that commit transaction is going to be cut off, and it's going to be sent to an undo segment inside of your table space. So that's basically how you have the undo table space, and basically what's storing internally inside of our table space. And also, if you think of the perfect example, so basically you might be asking yourself, so okay, if I'm using a database and other users are trying to if I have a, let's say, if I have an insert a DML that's basically more of an insert or an update, and basically what I'm doing is if I'm modifying a raw data, and it made me wonder, okay, so how is the user able to view how is the user able to query, to issue a select statement to view the data, if I have a log on that table object. And basically what happens is that what the user is doing is the user is actually just viewing information that's inside of the undo segment. So that's the importance of having the undo enable inside your database, and basically, again, just to be able to have read access for your for other database users. And in terms of undo intention, this is very important. Again, so Again, okay, the definition is you just this is just how long the undo is gonna be stored inside the database. But this is very important because there's actually, again, the default is 900. That is something you would definitely have to modify to for your environment. So what I've done is I've actually there's a calculation that I was able to find online on how to determine what your undo retention should be. So in the next few slides, I'm gonna go to the calculations of figuring out what will be the appropriate undo retention value for my database. So basically this is the equation. So you have undo basically, again, optimal undo retention. You have actual undo size over db block size times undo block per session per second. So basically what I'm gonna do is I have this is the query to get the actual undo size. So what I'll do is I should have this query right here. So this is a query, this is the actual undo size. So what I'll do is I'm going to take this and run this inside of my database. Let me make sure I erase this part, and then I'm just going to paste it and then run it. So basically, in terms of my database, this is my actual undo size. So basically, once I have this value, then basically what I'll do is, again, so what I can maybe do, what I'll do is I will move on to the next page, and then so in terms of the equation, if you can remember, it's gonna be actual undo size over undo block per second multiplied by db block size. So what I'll do for now is I'm gonna again, so I'm looking for my db block size. So db block size, I'm gonna copy this, and I have my window open, paste it, run it, and then my db block size is 8192. So again, so I would, again, it's already recorded. So and then the next is I would run the query for my undo block per second. So let me copy this, and again, so what I'm trying to do is I need to get the optimal undo retention for my database. So what I'll do is I'll copy it, I'm gonna paste it here and run it, and then that's 4.17. Okay, so apparently this is it again. So I recorded this on another 12c database that I was running my example on. So what I'll do is, so I have 4.157 for my block per second. If I can just go back real quick to my equation, so it's gonna be db block size times undo block per second, and then they are both, it's going to be divided, it's the actual undo size is going to be divided by the value that I received. So let me do this. I would open up my calculator right now, and then so I'm going to do this 4.17 times 8192, so 34,160, right? So let me make sure I record it down here. 34,160. Let me make sure 161. Okay, so what I'll do now is I'm gonna get this out. So I need to get my actual undo size. So it's gonna be 7. Make sure I have it all the way. Okay, there you go. 760217600 divided by, again, the value was 34,161. So basically this is what my value, my undo retention should be. My undo retention value should be 22 253 254. So let me make sure. So basically, so 22,254. So what that means is basically my undue retention should actually be, if you do the math, divided by 60 number of minutes divided by 24. So my undue retention should be for 15 days. So basically what I would do is, again, the value was, let me make sure, let me see if I have it right. So 22,254. So what I can do is, I'm going to alter my retention, right? So alter session set undo underscore retention is equal to, okay, what I can also, what I have to do for undo retention is I have to do scope. I can do both, but I can't do both because it has to be, you have to restore the database for it to take effect. So sp file, so it should be system. There you go. So basically, I've just reset my undo. What I'll do is I'm gonna issue a startup force and restart my database. So basically, I've just reset my undo to 22,254 seconds, which is the equivalent of 15 days. So what I'll do is I will put this aside and put this aside, and then I'll wait for my database to start up. So in the meantime, what I'll do is so in terms of how to enable your flashback for your database, so the first thing you need to do is you need to basically just make sure that you have some of the right configuration. So you need to figure out what if you have your flash recovery area enabled. If you have again, if you have your undo retention. So I just need to get my database restarted real quick, and then what I'll do is I will walk you through these you know, how to basically just just check your environment to make sure that you're set to, you know, for your to use flashback to do flashback operations. Okay, come on. Let's see if I can start another command prompt. There you go. Restarting. So first thing I'll do when I restart my database, I'm going to check my FRA. So I'm going to, again, remember I told you that you need to have your database, you need to have archive log more enabled for your database. So I just need to be able to access my file system. Okay. So pretty much V12. No, this is database mounted. It's almost there. So what I will also do is I'm actually going to first I'm going to create the Allman user, and I'm going to create the table script for Allman and be able to so that I'm able to access the Allman, make connection to this target database. So here, copy. Let me see. Yes, I need this. I need this to be able to create my table space. So basically, now what I'm doing is I just reset my undo retention to the appropriate value. I need to enable archive log, and again I'm just waiting for my database to restart. There you go, my database is open. So if I run the command show parameter, again I need to make sure that I have my FRA flash recovery error. So show parameter db underscore recovery underscore file underscore desk. So basically this is my fast recovery area. So it's fast or flash recovery area. So what I'll do is I will again go to C, it says app, and then fast recovery area. So this is it, and this is where where I have my archive log. So let me just make sure that my data is in archive log mode already. So let me do archive log. Yes. So my database is not in archive log mode. So what I need to do is I need to make sure that my database is in archive log mode. I will, before I even shut down, what I'll do is I'm going to create user Allman identified by Allman. Again, so these are the appropriate steps to be able to perform a Flashback database. So I'm going to create a table space Allman underscore tbs data file, and the directory is going to be c app and copy, and then so paste it here, Allman.dbf close the quotation. I'm going to sign it for 250 meg. Close it. I'll just create table space Allman data file 250. Okay, what is going on here? Yeah, apparently my system is just being that's not that. So let me do this. Set Oracle SID V12 C1H1. I'm gonna do is on here. Create tablespace RNTBS data file C. Okay, so what I'll do is I'm going to pause right here and I'm gonna figure it out when I'm able to get this working. Thanks so much for watching.